2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Jackson Dart.
Can Jackson Dart be the guy that can bring one of the NFL's most iconic franchises back to life? Well, that's the question surrounding him, and the truth is, nobody has a clear answer yet. He's got the talent, the confidence, and the stats, and now he's got an opportunity with the New York Giants, a franchise starving for direction and maybe, just maybe, for a quarterback who plays with a little bit of edge. But can he be that guy? Or will Jackson Dart be just another name in a long line of quarterbacks who couldn't handle the pressure of playing under the lights in New York? To understand how we got here, we need to go back. Jackson Dart was born on May 13, 2003 in Kaysville, Utah. He grew up with football in his DNA. His father, Brandon Dart, was a former safety at the University of Utah. But it wasn't just genetics that shaped Jackson, it was work. Relentless work. At Roy High School, he showed flashes, but it wasn't until he transferred to Corner Canyon High for his senior year that the football world truly took notice. That season, he had 4,691 passing yards, 67 passing touchdowns, over 1,100 rushing yards, 12 rushing touchdowns, a state championship, Gatorade Player of the Year for Utah, and Max Prep's National Player of the Year. In just one season, Jackson Dart went from a 3-star question mark to one of the most talked about quarterback recruits in the country. And he wasn't just lighting up stat sheets, he was making wow plays. Off-platform throws, scrambles, bullets down the sideline. He had that he's different vibe. USC came calling and Dart made the move to LA. His freshman year at USC was a mixed bag, but the flashes were undeniable. In his debut against Washington State, he replaced an injured Kedon Slovis and went off. 391 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and one eye black streak smeared across his face like war paint. It was pure chaos. Pure confidence, pure Jackson Dart. But the Trojans were in disarray. Clay Helton was fired, the team was struggling, and a certain blue-chip recruit named Caleb Williams was about to change the quarterback room forever. Dart read the writing on the wall. He entered the transfer portal and landed in Oxford, Mississippi. At Ole Miss, Jackson Dart didn't just find a new program, he found a new head coach who believed in him, Lane Kiffin. Now, say what you want about Lane Kiffin. The guy knows quarterbacks, and he saw something in Jackson Dart, something raw and something fearless. Dart won the starting job in 2022, and although he showed growing pains early on, he still led the Rebels to an 8-5 record in one of the toughest conferences in football. Then came 2023, and that's when Dart made the leap. In 2023, Jackson Dart played like a man who had something to prove. The arm was sharper, the reads were quicker, and the decision-making was cleaner. Let's look at the numbers. 3,364 passing yards, 23 passing touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, 404 rushing yards, and 8 rushing touchdowns, a 10-2 regular season record tied for the second best in Ole Miss history, wins over LSU, Auburn, Texas A&M, and Arkansas, and a Peach Bowl berth against Penn State. It wasn't just numbers either. It was the way Dart carried himself. Calm, poised, and fiery when needed. He looked like a guy who wasn't afraid of pressure, like a guy who could handle a huddle full of grown men. He finished his Rebels career with 6,900 plus passing yards, 50 plus total touchdowns, and a reputation as one of the most physically gifted under-the-radar QBs in college football. He wasn't Caleb Williams, he wasn't even Drake May, but he was ready. When the 2024 NFL Draft arrived, Dart was seen as a wild card. Some teams viewed him as a backup with starter upside, others saw untapped potential, and a few wondered if his decision-making under pressure was still too inconsistent. Round 1 passed, round 2, and round 3 still nothing. But then in the 4th round, the New York Giants pulled the trigger. This was a fascinating move. The Giants had just lost Daniel Jones, whose 2023 season was a mess with injuries and regression, and that massive contract suddenly feeling like a weight. Tyrod Taylor was gone, and Tommy DeVito was fun, but definitely not the future. But then came Jackson Dart, a 4th rounder? Yes, but also a legitimate threat to take the job. Because here's what you have to understand. New York isn't just any team. This is the Giants. 4 Lombardi trophies, a fan base that breathes expectations, and a media market that turns whispers into explosions overnight. If you win here, you become a legend. But if you fold, they'll remember that too. So how good is Jackson Dart really? Well, let's break it all down. He has incredible arm talent. Dart can make every NFL throw, from deep outs, seams, and off-platform missiles. He can rip throws on the run without resetting his feet, but he still has to work on his touch throws, especially under pressure. With his mobility, he's a legitimate rushing threat. He has excellent pocket escape ability, and he ran a 4.640 at his pro day, and it shows on tape. His mental processing has improved drastically year over year at Ole Miss, but he's still learning to get through full field reads. But he flashed advanced anticipation in 2023. He has incredible intangibles of being tough, he's confident and a great locker room leader, and he's battle-tested in the SEC, which means he's not afraid of the big moment. However, his weaknesses are his inconsistent footwork that can lead to missed throws. Sometimes he trusts his arm too much and forces balls into traffic. He holds on to the ball for too long, trying to make a hero play, and his experience in RPO-heavy systems means that there's going to be a learning curve adapting to full NFL progressions. But now the question becomes, could he be the guy in New York? The Giants have been searching for a quarterback since Eli Manning retired, and Daniel Jones, while vilified, had flashes, but injuries and turnovers kept holding him back. The patience there was thin, and the locker room and front office all knew it. But Jackson Dart could get his opportunity, because all it takes is one good game, one hero moment, and if he does, he'll bring something to the Giants they haven't had in a while: juice. This guy plays with swagger. He's emotional, competitive, and he's got that edge, and that's exactly what New York needs. But the other side of the coin is that the NFL is ruthless. Just because you lit up the SEC doesn't mean you can handle Micah Parsons chasing you down twice a year. Just because you threw 23 touchdowns in college doesn't mean you can handle a collapsing pocket on 3rd and 9 at Lincoln Financial Field. New York chews up quarterbacks. The media is brutal and the pressure is relentless. Playing for the Giants is no small task. So let's get back to the question of, will Jackson Dart be the future? The honest answer is, we don't know. And that's what makes this so fascinating. Sure, he has the tool and the fire, and he's been overlooked and doubted, and every single time, he's answered the only way he knows how: by showing up, competing, and winning. So let's just say this: if Jackson Dart gets his shot, truly gets his shot, don't be surprised if he runs with it. Because in a league that loves polish, sometimes what you really need is grit. And Dart has grit. He's a gunslinger, a fighter, and a creator. And if he pulls it all together, we might be looking at one of the best quarterback steals of the decade. So what do you think? Is Jackson Dart the Giants' future franchise quarterback, or just another college star who couldn't crack the NFL code? Let us know in the comments section below.